Why hello everybody, Spencer here, also known as ScreenSpeak, and in today's video, this is a David Leitch movies ranked video. So without further ado, let's rank. Alright, so I have to give a little bit of a like prelude, bit of a like info dump on you. So there's 5 movies I want to talk about, 6 movies I want to talk about, but 5 of those are directed by David Leitch, and this first one is John Wick. Now I know you all you guys know John Wick. I made a review for John Wick 4 on the channel. Talked about all 4 of them. Like I love the first 3. I love all 4 of them. I feel like it's the end. They talk about they're doing another one. They're doing the ballerina with John Wick in it. Can't wait for it. But this is produced. This is directed by Chad Stahelski. I think I'm butchering that name. But it's not directed by David Leitch. So I had to do a little bit of a cop out and I love John Wick. It's not saying that I don't think John Wick's at the bottom, but this is just telling you guys that I'm acknowledging the movie John Wick, but it's not directed by David Leitch. So I'm just acknowledging it, but I'm not putting it with the list. So with that said, let's get to the list itself, shall we? Alright, number 5, we got Atomic Blonde. Now, I just watched Atomic Blonde, like, last week. And I've been watching a lot of movies. But I watched this one this past weekend. I think it was just this past weekend. So, yeah. Not too long ago. And I like this one. David Leitch has a flavor to all his movies. This one has great action in it. But I feel like it just leaves you, like, at the end, it's almost like one of those Guy Ritchie movies, right? Like, it has a lot of good action, has a good story, but by the end, this one felt like a Man from U.N.C.L.E. for me, for David Leitch, right? It didn't feel as cohesive. I don't know if that's the right word to use in this scenario, but I like the flavor of it. I like the little romance they got going on between the Sophia, whatever her name is, oh, she's not in there in the credits, oh no. I like James McAvoy in there, and Charlize Theron, and Eddie Martin as Spyglass. He's always a treat to watch on screen. We got John Goodman, Toby Jones, Sophia Boutella, who I think she's in. Oh, Bill Skarsgård is in here as well. Oh, that's right. She was in Argyle. She was in Rebel Moon. Oh, that's right. But Sophia Boutella and Charlize Theron's relationship was kind of neat to watch. But other than that, great action involved from David Leitch. I did like that. But this one, to me, it didn't stand out as enough. Like, we're getting a lot of backstory. It was kind of cool to see that backstory revealed to us throughout. But again, it has things distinct. You know, there's like action in a stairwell, action with guns, and all this like car flipping. It's nice, but I feel like that there's a lot, and I like the character development, and like I said, this blue tone we got going on. I like the song they used at the beginning, but besides that, it does a lot. Like at the end, it just feels kind of anticlimactic in a way. So I like it a lot, but it's at the bottom for me for what it's given us. Next one, number 4, is Bullet Train, and this one is one that I really like. It amps up the action, it amps up the stakes, it's all tense. It's on a high-speed train. And now, this is one for me that, like, all these movies, like, we got Mission Impossible, there's 2 movies on a train, there's Spider-Verse is on a train, Incredibles has a train, both Incredibles have a train, Spider-Man 2 has a train. These superhero movies have trains. Well, I guess Mission Impossible is not a superhero movie. But, you know, a lot of these movies have trains. And it's because X-Men has a train. Wolverine has a train. There's this movie is called Bullet Train, and it's just really fun to see these movies in general have trains and these action scenes, and Bullet Train is no exception. I like it a lot. It's here at number 4, but it's just one of those movies that you can do a lot of stuff with. And there is a lot of stuff that they do. Speaking of which, they have this whole segment about a water bottle. It's crazy, but they actually do. And it's just, they have Aaron Taylor Johnson and Brian Tyree Henry as like these brothers that make the most hilarious joke out of Thomas the Train that you probably will never want to hear. You weren't expecting, but you need to hear it. Joey King is a treat in this, and Brad Pitt just steals the show. I just love this movie. I watched it with some friends back at home, I think last summer, or something or other. And it wasn't this past summer. I think last Christmas, I believe. And man, I loved it again. Why did I spell? Oh no, I spelled Bullet. Looking at Bullet on my computer, it looked wrong. But anyway, I love the action in this. It's like every scene, it gets better and better. And by the end, like this is one I do want to watch again. I love these movies. But this is one for me where it's like, that was intense. Like, it's literally intense. There's like sword moments. And by the way, they have holding out for a hero, but it's in a different language. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, it's so good. So I watched it once by myself, once with my parents, and then once with my friends, and I was like, this is a great movie. So, and they have the song Celebrate by Pitbull, which is at the end of the Penguins of Madagascar movie, but it's at the end of this one, and it's like slower rendition, so playing that really got me excited, but I was like, I want it faster, So, other than that, Bullet Train comes in at number 4. Number 3 is Fast and the Furious, Hobbs and Shaw. Okay, so let me take you back a little bit, because I'm not the biggest Fast and the Furious fan. So I have seen, I believe, I have not seen Tokyo Drift. I know a lot of people like that movie. I've seen 1, 9, 10, and I'm going to watch the next one. But those are the Fast and the Furious that I've seen. They're all ridiculous. And I feel like Saw is the horror franchise that is like Fast and the Furious. That's my interpretation, but that's another story for another time. Hobbs and Shaw was one I was like, huh. So I watched it, but then I think The Fall Guy came out. Spoilers. Foreshadowing. So Fall Guy came out, and I was like, oh, fine, I'll watch Hobbs and Shaw. And I was like, oh, it's by the same director. That's interesting. This is the best Fast and the Furious for me. Because of the directing style, because of what they actually end up doing, and because I like Jason Statham and Dwayne The Rock Johnson teaming up together to take down Idris Elba. It's a crazy movie. And I like it quite a bit. I know that Hobbs... Was it Hobbs there? Which one is Dwayne Johnson? Hobbs, Dwayne Johnson's character, has been in Mission Impossible before. I think they all have. But when I was watching this, I totally was watching the characters as I had never seen any of the other ones. I hadn't seen these two characters in Fast and the Furious before. So I was watching it going, I'm just learning more about these characters. But it's crazy to me that I have not seen these characters in Fast and the Furious, like in 9 and 10. And I'm just curious to see the next Fast and the Furious with, Jason Momoa coming back. And, well, actually, Hobbs is coming back because he was in the end credit scene for number 10. So, but this was a lot of fun. It's definitely worth the rewatch, and I feel like David Leitch did a great job at directing this Fast and the Furious movie. Fast and Furious, let's go. Vroom, vroom. Number 2 is Deadpool 2. And this is a interesting movie because I love the Deadpool movies. And David Leitch did a great job directing this one. And it's so funny. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands. What am I doing with my hands? So the first one is a classic Deadpool movie. Like the opening sequence, the opening title sequence to the Ferris Bueller's end credit scene in Deadpool 1 is phenomenal. But then this one just amps up the stakes. I love Cable. I love the scene with the convoy with Domino, the lucky scene. X-Force is great. You get that end credit scene with him going back and, well, actually, the Hitler scene is not in Disney Plus, but you can go back and find it on YouTube, like him going to find Hitler as a baby, him killing himself because of Green Lantern, him killing the mouthless Deadpool. So all that works, and it's a great movie. But I'm always conflicted now that we have Deadpool and Wolverine, which is the best Deadpool movie, but that's another story for another time. But this one with David Leitch brought with the action, like I was talking about specifically with the convoy, and that kind of goes to what the first movie is, what the first pick I have is, but also kind of goes back to Hobbs and Shaw, where all these like action set pieces with vehicles are like exactly the same. And watching that, well, The Fall Guy's number one. Ha, spoilers again. But this one is just like action nails. Action nails. And I'm debating saying that this is my favorite. It's kind of a toss-up between this and Sean Livy's Deadpool. But with, what's his face? David Leitch. I almost said Deadpool Leitch. David Leitch does with this is brilliant. I think Tim Miller did the first Deadpool. I don't know what other movies he's done. But man, David Leitch did a great job with this. And I'm just happy with it. Like, I feel like, you know, Bullet Train has great action. And so does Hobbs and Shaw. But, like, it's just these franchises. Atomic Blonde is great. Bullet Train is great. Atomic Train. Hobbs and Shaw is, like, the best Fast and the Furious. Deadpool, David Leitch brings it all superhero level for Deadpool. Oh, it's so good. And I'm just in awe of how well he did Deadpool 2. And I feel like like people don't appreciate, like, hey guys, I'm a movie fan. Like, you know this guy? Like, you should watch more of his. Like, if people, like, my friends who are Deadpool fans, and like, oh, you know David, like, you know Deadpool 2? You gotta watch this other movie he did because it's so good, right? Like, Hobbs and Shaw. Speaking of movies that are great, let's get to the number one. And number one, my favorite David Leitch movie is The Fall Guy. I've been saying like just things that happened when I was watching this movie earlier this year. This came out in 2024, so don't know if it's bias's sake, but the most recency bias. But the convoy scene in Deadpool 2, vehicle moments in Hobbs and Shaw, watching The Fall Guy was like, this feels like the convoy scene in Deadpool 2. Like the whole truck scene in The Fall Guy made me think of Deadpool 2, and I was like, I can see it. I can see it in my head. David Leitch, we're synced up, brain for brain. But no, not really. This movie is like action. Well, okay, it is action. But it's taking the stuntmen, the choreography, like, element to a whole new level. And I like it. I feel like many people skipped out on this. Furiosa is nowhere near the level of this, because this feels real. It's like Tom Cruise makes it. By the way, the relationship between Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt, gorgeous. Mwah. So, you know, let's Barbie it up. I'm all Ken. I'm just Ken, baby. But, you know, I think he's a little bit blonde. Also, another thing that, back to Bullet Train, Aaron Taylor Johnson was in that, and he's in this. Him and Ryan Gosling, like I said in my review, they look like they're related. They look like brothers. They make them look like the same person. Funny enough, Ryan Gosling's hair is like the same as right there. So, Ryan Gosling's gorgeous. But he's gorgeous with his shirt off. Well, I guess we saw his shirt off in Barbie, so we already know that one. But I just love the stunt work, the what's it called? The action in it, and the comedy works as well. So you can't really get any better than this. But I'd love to see another one. It's so funny, these directors, right? Like, I'm making these ranked videos. I made Edgar Wright. Like, I'd love to see another Edgar Wright movie. I'd love to see another David Leitch movie. But it's not like he's cranking them out. Like, I don't know. I don't remember the last. Well, I guess Bullet Train was his last one. So I don't know. We could get another David Leitch movie. I just don't know what's going on with him. I mean, we did just get Fall Guy this year, so I'm not like eagerly waiting, but it would be cool to get more. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Fingers crossed, baby. But that's my number one. Let me know if you agree with my list down in the comment section below. This was a fun video to make. I want to know your guys' thoughts. I definitely love The Fall Guy. I mean, all of these are great movies. So you're going to have to let me know in the comment section below what you think of David Leitch and what your list would be. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow me at Boba Fett Jedi Master. Instagram link is down below. Stay tuned for more of these ranking videos and stuff in the future and such videos in the future. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow me. Don't forget to keep calm, watch the stream. Peace, everyone. Bye.